But what will they be without the Killer Bees? MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football, breaking down the schedules in the Power 5. We've begun our journey through the SEC. We've started with Alabama. Please check out that video as well as our look at the Big Ten. We are providing our spring record projection and our look again at all the schedules in the Power 5. So please leave your comments in the comment section below and your record projection as we discuss, debate, and analyze college football like nobody else here at the Voice of College Football. Like, comment, share the videos, and subscribe to get the notifications for our live streams that come your way multiple times each week. 15-0 LSU, the national champion, scoring more points than anyone in the history of college football, 726. But Joe Brady has taken his wizardry to the NFL and the Carolina Panthers, and Joe Burrow his 60 touchdowns, most likely to Cincinnati. Miles Brennan seems to be the guy that will take over. The four-star quarterback has been waiting his turn, passed up by Joe Burrow in 2018, and it's finally his team if the boys do get on the field in 2020. Texas San Antonio is the warm-up for Texas this year. Of course, the Longhorns and the Tigers played quite a game in Austin last year, and this is before we knew LSU was LSU. We knew that they were ultra-talented, but did not necessarily have the idea that they would be that impressive as they were, obviously, in marching to the national championship and blowing out the defending champions by 18 points in the national championship game. There you have it, the Texas rematch in Death Valley this time after LSU again beat Texas last year. They should be a substantial favorite at home against the Longhorns, coming off a disappointing 5-loss season, although Sam Ehlinger's back and they're fresh off a bowl rout of Utah. Rice also in the non-conference slate, and Nicholls State as well. Sandwich in the date against Ole Miss in Death Valley. That means LSU begins the season like they really need this with 5 consecutive home games. They go to Florida. Of course, the Gators gave LSU one of its most difficult tests in 2019. Led that game in the third quarter in Death Valley before LSU put together the big offense in defeating the Gators 42-28. This time in the Swamp against Kyle Trask and company. At Arkansas, of course, they're not ready for primetime yet. Mississippi State probably would be overwhelmed as well in Death Valley. The date against Alabama comes after a bye week, but of course the Tide gets the bye week as well to prepare for the Tigers. And of course LSU beat Alabama for the first time since 2011 last season in Tuscaloosa, 46-41. They've got South Carolina as their crossover game from the Eastern Division. Of course, everybody in the SEC has one designated rival in the opposite division. For LSU, that's Florida, of course. And then the other game is rotated. They've got South Carolina at home this year before they finish off with 2 difficult challenges at Auburn, at Texas A&M. So both on the road. LSU coming off just an annihilation of the Aggies, an embarrassment for Jimbo Fisher and company, 50-7. You would think that the Aggies might be up to the challenge this year in Kyle Field on the final weekend of the season. That's how we look at the probable wins, losses, and toss-up games for the Tigers. Again, when we put the T there for toss-up, that's not necessarily a 50-50 toss-up, but a game in which there's a reasonable chance that either team could win. I would say after all these W's get marked down, that Texas has about a 20% chance of going to Death Valley and winning that game. At Florida, Florida's got a solid 40 to 45% chance of winning that game at home against LSU. Alabama, that's probably a 50-50 game in Death Valley, with Alabama probably being a slight favorite throughout the season over LSU, the way I've got it determined at this point. We've got the Auburn and Texas A&M games on the road to be, and that's a long, long ways away. Who knows what's going to happen in this season, but as it stands right now, LSU is a roughly top 5 team in the nation. Auburn and Texas A&M more in that 15 to 25 range. That LSU would be a substantial touchdown to 10-point favorite in those games on the road. and probably about an 80% chance of winning those games. After 12-0 in 2019, let's give LSU one loss as we check it out this spring. Of course, this is just the projection, not the final prediction. Would love to get your final record for LSU down in the comment section below, but we've got the Tigers at 7-1 in the SEC, 11-1 overall, and we will, of course, provide you with so much content on LSU football, breakdowns of the positions, and a preview and prediction for 2020. Right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Please lock it in. Like, comment, share the videos on social media, and subscribe right here. We'll see you next time.